All right, we're on air. Okay, fab. Okay, welcome everyone to our next in line Monday call with all of our event partners, all of our World Game partners and mentors. And thank you everyone for jumping in. We've had really great response over the last week, and so we are zooming along with people coming in and joining the World Game. For those of you who missed last week's call, or for those who are on last week's call and need a reminder, we said that on this call we would actually take you through the process by which you can actually join up and be one of our circle mentors. So I said, go have a look at all the different circles that are out there and decide on which one is the ones that you would actually love to have a chance to jump in on and actually help to lead with the World Game coming, because we have all these people who are all coming on board and we need your help. And then the second thing is I also said that we would actually be having part of the theme for this call, because we have like a how-to theme on each of these calls, that the how-to theme for this call is going to be really the basics of marketing. Like, how do you really make sure that whether you're running an event, like the events we run, whether you are like looking to really create something for your own product, whether you're doing a mastermind, whether you actually got a workshop going on, whether you're selling an online product, like what are the most fundamental key things to put in place, and how do we do those things so you can start putting these things in place as well and bring people on board into your circles, into your events, into things you're doing as well. And we have lots of exciting updates off the back of what's been happening. We've got a whole bunch of people that have joined up as city leaders now, which we're very excited by. A lot happening in America and also in Europe. So what I'm going to do to kick it off is I'm going to come over to Michelle, and she's going to have a chance to give you a bit of an update, some of the people that have stepped up into leadership roles. And then at the same time, we'll then jump into how you can then take action on this call to be able to run and lead a circle. So Michelle, I'm going to come over to you, and you can I can share my screen of what we have here on the mentors, or you can do it on your side, up to you.
Yeah, I can share it on my side. Hey everyone. Maybe you want to just mute a second. There you go. Morning, everyone. Oh, good afternoon, good evening. Let me screen share here. Good to see you all. So first of all, as Roger said, we are in the Genius U circle. So you can go ahead and put your comments in here. So you can see I've just posted in here. And then there's a little button that will show up to say when someone else has gone in and commented. You can just refresh. So you can go in and just type in and say good morning or good afternoon, good evening. Let us know where you're dialing in from so we can see that you're in Genius U. You've got the circle, and we can say hello to you as well. So you can just see, there's my little comment there. So you can just say hello to me under there. And just a little update then on the numbers so far. So we're up to 731 registered now to play the World Game, which is pretty awesome. So that number is moving up. And we've got the Entrepreneur Fast Track this week in Melbourne, which is where Roger and Jess are right now, and the team. So they've got that going on tomorrow and Tuesday. And I wanted to share with you, see if I've got the right one. Here you go. So this is going live within the next 24 hours. So I'm going to share this with you guys now so you can see this ahead of everybody else, and you can let me know what you're super interested in as well. So we said that we were going to give you the chance to step up into some leadership opportunities because you're already mentors. So you can do this. It doesn't cost you anything to do. It's actually a really, really clever way for you to play the game as well. So you can apply to actually be a leader of a circle that's already established within Genius U that doesn't have anyone leading it right now. So we've got over 70 circles already on Genius U, which we've set up, and only Genie right now is leading them. And we've got the Genius test circle, so Dynamo Blaze, Tempo Steel. We've got the profile circles. We've got the passion test circles and the purpose test circles. And what's really interesting is that, you know, we know already there's 1,000 people joining Genius U every day. And they're joining through one of those routes. So either the Genius test, the passion test, the purpose test, the millionaire master plan test. And they automatically get added to a circle when they join. So if they find out that they're a Dynamo, they automatically get added to the Dynamo circle. But there's nobody in there leading that circle. And there's no one in there kind of posting, commenting, giving value, helping for people to really understand what it means, and giving them direction as a mentor. So we thought this would be a perfect opportunity for our existing mentors who are already at that high level, already running their own circles, to take on some of our circles for us. Some of these circles have already got almost 5,000 people in them. And I know many of you set up your own circles and got a couple of hundred, but I'm pretty sure you would love to be running circles that have got almost 5,000 members in there already who are looking for help. They're looking for guidance. They're looking for mentoring and direction. So for every circle that we've got already in Genius U, we're going to take up to 6 mentors to become the circle leaders. So there can be 6 of you, which means you can cross time zones. It means there'll be plenty of content being shared, there'll be plenty of support being given. And all you need to do is apply for the circles that you want to be leading already. Now, for those people who are not mentors already, which obviously isn't you guys because you're on this call, but for anyone who's playing the World Game who isn't a mentor, they can apply to step up and become a mentor, and that way they can lead a circle. But because you're already a mentor, you don't have to qualify. It just has to be something that you're already interested in. So either it's one of your top purposes, or maybe it's one of your top passions, or it's your actual profile. So if you head up, for example, the Dynamo Circle, which already has 4,700 members in it, you can engage those members to play the World Game with you. So if you say to everyone in your circle, hey, come play the World Game, and they click and they start playing the World Game, now their cumulative score becomes your score as a circle leader. So just giving you all a little bit of a heads up on the inside knowledge of how to play the game, you definitely want to have a circle that's got a lot of members in it who are all playing the World Game, because all of their scores get added together in your score as a circle leader. And that's how the points work every month. So the circles who've got the most scores, or the circles who've created the most impacts, are the ones who are going to win the prizes, and it's the circle leaders. So this is a really great tip for you guys to get ahead in the World Game, but also it's a really great tip for you guys to be generating some really warm leads for yourself, because these are people who are going to be leaving you reviews. They're going to be connecting with you as a mentor and wanting to work with you. So there's some information about being a mentor. You guys know about that already. But you can go in, and this will go live like tomorrow, the next day, where you can apply to be. So I'll make sure you all have this in the mentor circle, and you'll be able to click on which of these you're most interested in and get joined straight away. So for example, if you come along to, if you click here on the passion circles, for example, there's 30 of those. And when you take the passion test, you find out which ones are your top. So here's the freedom circle. It's got 3,798 members in it already. And if I just click into there, let's see it's just got Jeannie as a leader. And so people are just in here, like there's stuff getting posted, but nobody's really looking after this group right now. So that's just one group. So you can see there's the service group. It's got 1,300 members. Control's got 325. So religion's got 987. Balance 2,221. Those are just the purpose circles. And if I go into the Dynamo circle, for example, let's just click into this one here, and you'll see, like I said, there was, I mean, this was last week when I put this together, it was 4,700. Where's the Dynamo circle? Here you go. It's now 4,702. And so you can click and join that one and see this circle. And again, there's only Jeannie who's in there leading that circle right now. So I would love to see you guys applying to be in there. And there's 50 people applied to join, and Jeannie hasn't even let them in yet. So if you were in there leading the circle, you could already be letting those people in and connecting with them and giving them some help and guidance. So I'd love to see you guys doing that. The landing page is going to go live in the next couple of days for you to apply. But in the meantime, because you're on this call already, you get first dibs. So just go ahead and just in the thread here today, post your name and the circle you want to apply to lead, and I'll make sure that gets handed straight across to Kathleen so that she can connect in with you guys as well, and you'll get first dibs on those positions. But that's a good inside tip on how to play the game, as well as how to find yourself some new leads and clients as well. Back to you, Roger.
All right, awesome. And I just want to add an extra piece into this as well, which is what's happening in terms of people, stepping up at the moment into more as we're really getting into everything that's coming up. And we're very excited at the moment about what's coming up with our Micro Degree. We've done all the videos. We're actually putting all the content together. And also on Genius U, we're going through some pretty major upgrades on the designs and everything like that as well. But we actually did post here in the City Leader side a whole bunch of information. This is obviously for those who are city leaders here, where we have had, as you see in the last week, Sherry has come on board Milwaukee, Wisconsin as a city leader. We've got a whole bunch of really cool information here. I mean, I'm sure many of you have seen Paul Dunn's a video that went up recently about what he's doing with B1G1, how we're linking all that together. Paulina Roach, who also joined us as city leader for Bay of Plenty. Nicola Grace, who is now city leader for San Jose in Costa Rica. And it goes on. Luca Bernardini, who's now in Croydon, London, which is almost as exotic as Costa Rica. And also Gloria Austin in London, who's already leading that there as well. And so it goes on, right? Like so many amazing people, Vancouver, Canada, that are just showing up and stepping up at the moment, right? Donna has stepped up in Brisbane. And so we are looking now at every place we go to have city leaders who are actually stepping up. So for example, we said that we're in Sydney. If we had a city circle leader in Sydney, and that person had actually hosted the event that we ran, that person would have pocketed $50,000 just for basically helping us with that event from that one day that we did. And we have got now the Perth event we just ran. We've got the Melbourne one tomorrow, where we're really looking for the right city leaders or the people in the city teams to come and join us as well. And then obviously we then have the people who are also jumping into the master trainer role or the performance consultant side, and that's all the training that's going to be happening this coming July as well. So, so that's on one side, just to kind of share about that. The next thing that I want to share, because I said we want to jump in, like I mentioned, on the marketing side, is just a little bit about what have been the kind of most fundamental key things that we have always learned when it comes to actually building out, any of our pathways. And for every one of you that is either working with me in Crystal Circle or working with Suraj on his leader course, or with Michelle on her business accelerator, like on the partner accelerator, you know how important the whole concept of doing a promotion plan is. But what most people still miss, lots of people get it right, but the ones who miss it, what they tend to miss is really making sure they have enough pathways that then lead into their platform. So the most important thing that we always do whenever we're doing anything new, and you can be doing the same for yourself as well, whether it is you deciding over the next couple of months that you want to be launching a micro degree on GeniusU, or you want to be actually launching your first event, or the people who are going to be doing performance consulting training with us are going to be launching their own mastermind group, and the people who are stepping in as city leaders are all going to be running their own event. In every case, it's the same format, right? It's the same format every time. So I want to share with you what that format looks like, and then I'm going to actually get Suraj to share a bit about one aspect of that format. We're going to go through different aspects as we go through the coming weeks, and then we're going to go through from marketing onto sales. So before in fact, let me share my screen, and then I'm going to just walk through for each of you, like the elements that you need to have no matter what, right? Like if you are going to have a meal, for example, you'd always have a first course, you'd always have a main course, you'd always have dessert, unless you're going to get super fancy and have more than 3 courses. But those 3 steps are very similar to basically thinking about your business as 4 courses, which link to the Wealth Dynamics Square. First, you're going to have the marketing, then you're going to have the sales, then you're going to have the service, right? And the service includes the delivery, and then you're going to then have the systems, right? It's going to be those 4. And of course, the one that overrides all of it, that links it all together, is going to be the leadership side, right? So we're going to be covering each of these areas one by one when it comes to being a partner or a mentor within GeniusU. And you can see here that this aspect is all around the marketing side that links into the sales, right? Where we will always start by saying, right, what are the pathways? What's the platform we're using? So in this case, digital tools we're using online. What are the 5 pathways? So you're always going to have 5 pathways. You're going to have 1 platform. You're always going to have 3 products, right? And so in this case, you can see on the digital side, we have different online marketing that we do, Facebook, Google, YouTube, LinkedIn, affiliates, that then link into a free guide, which is free, which then gets people already involved, then links to Wealth Dynamics Test. This is for our online Wealth Dynamics event products. We're going to have this that we haven't launched yet, which is basically a Power Pack gem package that we're going to put together, and then Flow Consultant. So these 2 aren't even linked right now. At the moment, we just kind of stop here. So that's one thing that we're going to be doing. And then there's additional experiences that people want to be doing more off the back of that. Let's take another example. So you can see that we do this for every one of our different businesses, right? This here, Global Impact Challenge, is people that are coming onto World Game that then decide they want to do more things off the back of that as well, right? So this was called the Global Impact Challenge. It's now just called the World Game, right? And this is our shared document on our team charter. So we all do this. Let's take another example, right? Exponential Entrepreneur Events, we do this, right? So this is for our events, Exponential Entrepreneur that some of you came to in London. We have a new one that's coming up as well. So each one of these is its own platform, which actually then has its own pathway off the back of it as well. I'm just going to give you one more because, like, many of you have been to our events, so you know the way that our events work. Let me see if I can find our event ones, which are here. So this one here, this is basically where we actually run our Entrepreneur Fast Track, for example. So you can see 5 pathways, which is like our Entrepreneurs Institute database, Entrepreneurs Institute Online, which is our own online site, the City Leader Online, the City Leader Partners, and City Leader Database. So if we don't have a City Leader in place, we've just been doing it ourselves. which is what's happened with quite a few of our events so far, and then city leaders have actually stepped up. We already have got a schedule for the coming year, and I'm going to go through that in a second. So any of you who are actually stepping up wanting to do this, we've actually planned out a schedule for next year. We then have the fast track, which is basically our event itself, and then we have the products that you sell off the back of it. And then off the back of that, people then come along for Exponential Entrepreneur, so they get that packaged in, and then there's more products, right? So the whole thing just has a really simple flow, and it allows us to deliver really good value, and then actually join on to others. And so think for yourself, well, what are my pathways? What's my platform? Is it online? Is it going to be phone calls that I'm going to be making? Or is it going to be an event that I'm going to run? And then what are the products I'm actually going to be selling off the back of it that allows people to then actually get involved? And for me to always know you've got something at low cost, something at middle cost, something at high cost, because some people want the lowest cost, some want the highest cost, some want something in the middle. So it's like first class, business class, and economy class, right? And so always be thinking in that way as you're actually mapping things out. And then you can test and measure to say, how does each thing work, and how strong is each one of these steps as the next step forward for what you want to do as you go as well. In terms of scheduling, this is what the schedule currently looks like for 2019, right? So 2018 is full, as many of you know. And so we've got all our events already running in 2017, and we've mapped them all out through the whole year. And up until now, we've just kind of like, it's just got really busy with a whole bunch of stuff happening all the way through the year. Whereas in 2018, you can see we've kind of got, 2019, we've got a bit of a theme where we're really like focusing all the main events we're going to be running in EMEA, which is basically Europe, Middle East, and Africa, in January and February. And we've kind of at this point put USA into that field, because USA has never really been that big a market for us, but we've got so many people that want to run events there now. I think we're going to be doing more. So like we'll be in USA at the beginning of January, and we've said we're going to run some events. We're just open to where those events might be, and then we've got Africa in February. Then we've got APAC, which is Asia Pacific, in March and April, which is where we have some of our Australian events, and Auckland already is booked in there, and Brisbane. And then we also then have, again, EMEA in May and June, when we have a London EXC and some Europe events. And then we then get into July, August, which is back to APAC again, where we actually have our training for next year. We have our Japan events. And then we have September EMEA again with our big London event. And then, leading up at the end of the month back into Asia again. And then November, December, APAC. So 2 months in one, 2 months in the other. And so if you happen to be one of our city leaders, or you're thinking, maybe I will be, then be thinking about how do you actually really build your momentum, so we can actually be choosing, are you the right people for us to be coming to, or should we be going somewhere else? We actually expect there to be a lot more events than there are events I'm going to go to, because we're training up our master trainers to be able to go and actually be speaking at different events where they're going to be generating new money, and at the same time they're going to be delivering really great value within the specific workshops they run, whether it's about the impact meter, whether it's about the wealth spectrum, whether it's about wealth dynamics, for example, and all of it links to the World Game. So I'm just going to stop sharing my screen for a second and give Suraj a chance to share on the very first step, which is very much around digital marketing, how we actually run our digital marketing and how we track what we track, so that if those of you who are thinking I should be doing more digitally are not yet doing that, then here's some of the kind of key tips in terms of what to follow. But remember, this is just one of 5 different things you should be thinking about, right? Always have digital in there, always have partnerships in there, always have your own database in there, always have something to do with basically word of mouth or referrals from people you have. And the 5th one could be one of a number of different things, whether it's a specific partnership you're going to run differently, or whether it is a different digital marketing. So you have one specific for LinkedIn, one specific for Facebook. But by having those 5, you can track for each one a series of metrics, and Suraj will cover through a number of what these metrics are. So Suraj, over to you.
Thank you, Roger. Can you hear myself? Let me know when you can see my screen, though. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right. So as Roger was sharing about the event, we have some online side. I'll just give you 2 quick examples of what works and how we set that up, right? So similar to what Roger was sharing, we've identified specifically for the Wealth Dynamics test, right, which is like a $97 product. So we identified which are the sources we want to get the traffic from and what each individual would be experiencing once they do come on board. So this is the funnel that we put together. They come in, they download the e-guide. From the e-guide, they get the email so that they can, if they missed out, they can download from there. And as part of that offer of them downloading the e-guide, we are giving them 3 videos series as well. So they get 3 videos. The first one is Double Your Income and Half Your Stress. So they get this particular video along with the email. So they go and they get the opportunity to go and then take the test. The second video we send them is how to build $1 million team. And then they get the opportunity to go and take that test as well. And there's a third video, which is 5 mistakes entrepreneurs make, right? So we've designed the content based on the Well Dynamics Square as well. Like the first video talks to the top and the bottom, which is the dynamos and the tempos. The second video, which is how to build $1 million team, talks to all the plays side. And the third video talks to the scale. So we covered everything, and we get what, about 50% conversion from anyone who's going through really high. And
yeah, just a quick one. So I don't know why, but people are saying on the comments they're only seeing me. Michelle, are you seeing Suraj's screen at the moment?
Yeah, I can see Suraj's screen.
Okay, so maybe if anyone's actually watching the video and then you're having a challenge, maybe just refresh the screen, and then you might end up seeing it. Okay, go for it, Suraj.
Yeah, maybe if I'm speaking, that need to tap on my face icon over there so that it shows up. Maybe that could be the issue. But yeah, so this is the journey that we are using for Well Dynamics. So once you go through those e-guide videos, you get onto to take the test. So, but we mapped out what happens after someone takes the test as well. But there's a really important step which we are doing before this, which is capturing the target market. And we've identified what a target market is, which is entrepreneurs, right? So we've got this particular ad, which is running, and it's such a big hit, this ad, and like the guys from Facebook are also amazed at the results we are getting. So this is for the Entrepreneur Inspiration ebook, which gets people onto the Well Dynamics series as well. So we've got like a lead magnet for lead magnet, which is bringing in not just the people for Well Dynamics test, but it's creating an entire database for us for like-minded entrepreneurs. Now, the Entrepreneur Inspiration Downloads is basically just a book which covers, it's not just a book, but it basically covers all the stories which Roger writes on Facebook, right? So we've taken that and we've converted that into an ebook. And the cost per download is 35 cents if I see the lifetime calculation, right? So, and the cost per click is 16 cents. So you can just see from there, like every two people who click, they come in and they download the Entrepreneur Inspiration e-guide, and then we get them and get to them and say that, hey, if you want to find out your entrepreneur type, you could download this e-guide, and they get into that and the same funnel which I discussed earlier as well. But what we've done, in addition to just running Facebook ads, we are doing something called the chatbot, which is a Facebook Messenger thing, where if you see this particular ad, it just shows up this ad, and it says that, hey, if you're interested in this particular book, just type in comments yes, right? So this is what really happens. Let me see if I can just pull one of those ads. So is the ads loading up now? There we go. Yeah, so there we go, right? So it says free Entrepreneur Inspiration ebook. If you want to download this ebook, just type in comment yes, and then people comment yes, and this is what they get, right? So it just says, hi Peter, welcome to our tribe, reply inspiration to receive your free Entrepreneur Inspiration ebook. And people type in yes, and they type in inspiration, they get that free download link right through Messenger. Now, why this is powerful is because they are basically subscribing into your list. And this is now all these talks about GDPR and opting in, all these things are going on. Chatbots are just going to change the way this entire thing works, because not just that they're opting in just by typing in a message, it becomes really easier for them, They don't have to type first name, last name, and everything. But at the same time, you get like 90% open rates from people who opt in through any of the chatbots you got. And LinkedIn has something which is InMail, which is also really powerful, similar to Facebook. So these are like some really key strategies that we're using. So that's for the Wealth Dynamics test, but we do something for the events as well. And on the event side, after every event, we create a report and we run through how we've done overall. And I won't go through the entire report, but you can just get an idea that from the overall, like the online side of things that we do for an event. So this is for New Zealand. We spent about $4,900 for it, got 100 tickets sold through social media, spent just about $48 per attendee, and we generated about $126,000 from people who came through the social media. So if you're not using digital as part of your strategy for your events, you need to look at it, because there's a lost opportunity of close to 100,000 grants if you've got an event similar to this. And we just ran the Perth event, and we're putting those reports together, and we just identified that 50% of that revenue for the Perth event came from people who came via social media. So it's important to take those things into consideration and make sure you've got like a full plan in place as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Suraj. Okay, so just in summary for everyone who's thinking, okay, so where do I get started? The most important thing are basically 2 metrics, which then become 4 metrics, all right? So the 2 metrics is, what is my cost per lead? Like, so when Suraj talks about a download, he's talking about someone who's actually saying, I'm now a prospect, right? And I'm actually interested in what you're giving me, and I want to take time on it, right? So you heard what he said for something like the entrepreneurs. In fact, I'll show you exactly what the number looks like here. So here we go. Oh, and by the way, Michelle has been posting in here as we've been going under this post here. And you can see that she has said, hey, like post down here, whatever are the circles that you're actually interested in taking. And you already got some people in here that are posting in here as well. So, you know, we've got Alison saying, right, can I take the Dynamo circle? We've got Alison Lalu saying, can I take leadership, right? And, you know, different, you know, people already who are interested in different areas here. Ramos here saying Keenan Dynamo or Achievement Circle. And you can take more than one as well, right? And it's about being connected with those people. And then there's no question that once they see you as the mentor, that's their go-to person, you're going to be able to find some really great leads that come off that as well, right? But here, basically, as an example, is what we do with our event side, where you can see this is 5th to April to 11th of May, so it's really current. And in here, we'll show you what we're measuring. We're measuring what is our CPL. CPL is cost per lead. So what is it for someone to download to begin with? So here is 82 cents. Here is $5.30, right, on this e-guide. You know, here is like $3.87, right? Here is like now our retargeted ads, which is then going back to those same people to say, hey, why don't you do the test? And this is where people actually then buy the test. So we don't go out and just sell to someone who doesn't know us. We make sure they know about us first, and then we go back to those people and retarget them. And so the CPL is the cost per lead, all right? And then the CPC, which is cost per customer, is then how much is it costing us for each one of those customers. So as an example, you've got here 308 tests that are taken, right? You've got basically it's roughly, right? So if you actually think about it in that way, to say, well, what is it in terms of my cost per lead, cost per customer? And then once you know what you're at, you know, in terms of what the number is, sorry, not, it's like more $11, I mean. So, or let's call it $12, so it's like 3,600. So if it's costing you $12 to get a customer, and that customer is then spending $100, right, then that means it's 12% marketing spend. So we can then say, well, let's then ramp that up. And that's what we're doing at the moment. We're working with Suraj and the team to say, right, let's just increase by 20% every week and see if it actually doubles as we go as well. So CPL is your cost per lead, CPC is your cost per customer, right? And then your revenue per customer is the third one, which is then, is it actually making sense for me to do this? And those are the 3 most important things for you to be tracking. The final one's going to be your lifetime value, right? Which is basically like if you know someone's going to be with you for 3 or 4 years, then you can actually work out what's the total value they're going to be for you as well. Keep that in mind as the very first step. Any questions anyone has, and Suraj is actually providing services right now to a lot of our different people who are our partners and so on as well. So any questions, anything like that, post it in the comments here as well, and we'll get back to you on all of that as well. But outside of that, we are all getting ready now for our Melbourne event. We will give you an update on Melbourne next week. Are we all, here, let me stop sharing my screen for a second. And I am actually in the room right now. Why am I screen not showing? Oh, here we go, okay. So I'm in the room right now with Jess. Are you excited about tomorrow?
Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Woo!
And also Sandra.
Woo!
Yeah,
That's
also excited.
Awesome.
Yeah. So you can tell we're really excited, right? Okay, so we kind of stepped out of the other crew meeting so that we could have this call with you guys. So really looking forward to it. Have a fabulous week, everybody, and we will catch up with you next Monday. All right, see you all later. Bye.